Hey guys, this is Camper 15, joined by my Uncle Daryl, and we're here with a Black Adam movie review for you guys. Black Adam, which is the newest I guess superhero movie, but the newest DC movie on the block now because originally it was supposed to be like Flash that was supposed to come out first, but then all the drama with that, and then they pushed Flash back, and then it was supposed to be like Aquaman or Shazam 2 coming out first,
Correct.
and they pushed that back to next year or something like that.
They
Um,
pushed back Shazam.
yeah, they pushed back Shazam. They delayed Shazam.
Yeah, because I know they had some turmoil within management in which they scrapped a lot of projects. Flash being one of them, Batgirl being another one of them.
No,
So,
Flash is still scheduled
well,
to.
no, they didn't scrap the
Yeah,
Flash. It's just they
Th-
postponed it now.
yeah, the
I know they,
drama. Yeah,
yeah, because all the drama with the
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller and Amber Heard and things of that nature. So yeah, it's DC. DC right now. It's not a great time to be a DC fan, but at least Black Adam has gotten them off to a good start.
Yeah. Black Adam. First thing, obviously, obviously he starred by The Rock. Um, Going into non-spoiler thoughts, I enjoyed the movie. I thought the action was well, there was action throughout the entire movie. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um, and everything. Story-wise, I thought it was average at best. It's just your
yeah,
typical introduction to the character story, yada yada,
correct,
his motives and everything. Um,
correct.
I was definitely intrigued to see how the movie was gonna go. In terms of Black Adam, because I know he's kind of a villain. But
Kind of a villain.
I don't know much about Black Adam to be honest.
I mean, Black Adam is for me. Uh, man, Black Adam is just evil. I mean, he's just evil, man. So, but you know, the by The Rock playing the title character, I guess in a way they had to kind of make him into some sort of an anti-hero, anti-villain, whatever you want to call it. But my recollection of Black Adam is the fact that Black Adam is just evil. He's
Yeah,
a total antithesis of what Billy Batson's rendition of Captain Marvel is. So gonna be pretty interesting to see where they go with it.
yeah. In terms of the other characters, I thought they were all fine to the most part. I did like the JSA characters. I actually enjoyed all of them.
Yeah,
Um, Probably Dr. Fate being my favorite one.
yeah,
Just with how cool his powers were. And his
yeah,
powers are kind of like how I guess Marvel treats Doctor Strange in a way in their movies.
correct.
Um, but I know a little bit about Doctor Fate. It's definitely different, I think, from the version of because I watched Stargirl just freely. It's definitely different from the way they handle it on Stargirl.
Yeah,
But I enjoyed those characters. Um, the human regular characters, I guess they were fine for the most part. You know, it was all right with what they were fine with. I was kind of a little bit annoyed with the kid that was kind of had the focus on the story, which it ties in more to the story of Black Adam, with his whole thing, everything. But we'll talk about that in the spoilers discussion. Um, this movie looks visually stunning. I did like the music. I liked Black Adam's main theme. I thought it was cool.
hmm
Uh,
hmm
and there's pretty much nothing there. There's pretty much nothing else to say. I enjoyed it. It looked great. For its time. Um,
yeah,
and then the villain's fine. The villain's fine for the most part.
yeah,
You have a little bit of a plot twist, but it's fine.
yeah. From a non-spoiler standpoint, I know we're going to get to the spoilers a little bit later on what we do this. I did like the JSA characters. I love Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. I really did like um, Pierce Brosnan as Doctor Fate. So they worked well as a unit. Um, they are crazy rich, So I'm kind of curious where they get their money from. Is it like a Bruce Wayne type deal here too? But the villain for me, I don't want to say it was a letdown, but I was expecting more of a bad guy because in these type movies, the bad guy is what really makes the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We all fall in love with the villain, but we only fall in love with the villain when the villain has a huge mountain to climb, especially when dealing with a really good bad guy. And I think the movie was really lacking that. I'll say that. Um, the special effects were great. Um, you really didn't see any glimpses in with CGI or anything like that. But was the story was good as well too. Um, the supporting characters, the little boy and his mom. You know, uh, there were only issue with that, and I gotta admit, I'm kind of giving a spoiler here. The only issue with that is the mother looked exactly like Black Adam's wife way back in Condon back in the day,
Yeah.
and you can tell it's the same actress. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring that up a little bit later on because they didn't bring it up in this movie. But I did like her character. She was heroic. She was fun. She was strong. She was gorgeous. So she pretty much checked all the boxes as a main heroine in the movie. So all in all, I like the movie. Um, so it's going to be really interesting where they go from this point forward.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much my sentiments, same thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess for a non-spoiler, I would probably give this like an 8 out of 10 for my opinion. I thought it was solid. Had some issues there, but it was solid for my part.
Yeah, I could go 8 by 10 too. The only, yeah, I mean, I could give it more if the bad guy was better.
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah.
It's a solid DC film. I would say. No, is this a movie that I would say turns the DCEU around? No. They still
But
got a.
it's a good start.
It's a
It's a
good
good
start.
start.
It's a good start.
It's a good start, especially with the mid scene credits, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a little bit later. But it's a good start. My only issue is that with Black Adam being a bad guy and how he is going to relate in the DC universe, especially when it comes up against Captain Marvel, who, all intents and purposes, is a comedic.
Well, I don't think they're
He
gonna do.
was,
I don't think they're gonna do Captain Marvel in the DC because they got Captain Marvel in Marvel.
well, I mean, Shazam or
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Shazam.
I don't. I mean, really, but I see what you're saying. I'm wondering how they're going to link the two together because I think eventually they have to make Shazam or Captain Marvel or I don't. You're right. I don't think they can name him that because of. But that's his name in the books, Captain
Yeah,
Marvel. Let's say that how they make him from a buffoon is what he's pretty much is right now with his family to you know his main guy, which is Black Adam.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Uh, DC's got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, with this whole new change in management, I would have just rebooted the universe, bring back some of the freaking actors that were pretty damn good, like Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, and things like that, and figure out what you want to do with your universe. But
Correct.
that's a discussion for another day. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's our non-spoiler thoughts on Black Adam. You're gonna get a quick little video giving the spoiler alert, telling you guys click off the video if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen Black Adam, click it off, go watch it at your theater. When you do, come back, hit this video, and get our spoiler thoughts. So we'll be
It's worth
back.
watching.
Yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
back in a quick
Yeah.
few seconds.
All right.
Hey guys, we're back with our spoiler discussion of Black Adam. And again, this movie was a good start to the I guess what I guess is refurbished or semi-rebooted DCE
Yeah.
with whatever they're trying, or I want to say that retooling of it. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what to call it.
I like the term retooling because I mean they're not really you know um, scrapping everything. I mean, they've moved some projects back, they've stopped some projects. So it's more of a refit, retool just to retaliate towards what's going on with the Marvel universe. I mean, they got to do something.
Yeah. And I think honestly, the Flash movie is going to be the movie, and I think that's the reason why they're pushing it back. They're getting all these other movies up first, like Aquaman 2,
Correct.
Shazam 2 out the way. So then when Flash comes,
Correct.
since it's about Flashpoint, It's going to be a way to just reset the entire movie universe.
Correct. And speaking about Aquaman, they have to figure out a way to reshoot Amber Heard's scenes because obviously um, everything that would happen with her and her personal life obviously affects the movie from a public relations standpoint. So they pushed that back, pushed the Flash back because I'm sure that Aquaman plays into Flash or Flash plays into Aquaman some kind of way, whereas they're connected. So yeah, you would actually have to do something with them both because everything that happened with Amber Heard.
Yeah. So this the movie starts off with the flashback of Black Adam, and mostly his son. I forgot what they call it. I think they called the town he resides in Conduct or something like that.
Kondak,
Yeah,
Kandak or Kondak, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
with a K.
yeah. Pretty much this king by the name of King Arthur. He just pretty much takes over their
Correct.
entire city, and he's forcing the people to do work and look for like this element of eternitum or something like that.
hmm yeah, I think it's called golly gee, my goodness gracious, we shouldn't be doing this on the video. We got to have our facts together. But yeah, it was like um kind of like what vibranium is
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe, Eternium or something of that nature. Yes.
Yeah. And it leads to this boy find or this old man finding it, and then he gives it to them, like thinking like, oh, he's gonna get praised by the king, probably get set away from his freak.
Right. Right.
But the guard is like, oh, okay, you want your prize from the king? He just pretty much stabs him and just puts him off the
And
cliff.
just stabs him and throw him over the ravine, throws him into the ravine.
And
Like you didn't know that was gonna happen.
yeah, and it was hilarious just from the standpoint the kid was like, "What are you doing?" And then the guard is like, "Do you want his gift too?" And he's like, "Oh no, I don't want none of
No,
that."
I'm good. Yeah, trust me, I'm good. I'll go back and dig up some more. But nice work, fellas.
Yeah. Yeah, so he pretty much has a conversation with his dad, which we later in the movie it's revealed to be Black Adam. But for the
Well, I kind of figured it was The Rock too. I did like now that was one of the CGI things I did like about the movie, how they pretty much did to The Rock what they did what happened to Chris Evans
Mhm.
in the Captain America movie. They pretty much took weight off The Rock because he wasn't as big and bulky when he was in that character.
Yeah,
So I thought that was really cool, and it looks so realistic.
yeah. Now, like we said, we find out that the father talking to his son, telling him like, "Look, it's okay. We just to work. We just can't, get ahead of ourselves. Things will play out the way
Right.
we'll get our freedom eventually.
Correct.
Gotta stick together like family. The way
Correct.
that first, yeah,
Also telling him you are meant for greatness and all that other kind of stuff. So just stay the course. You are someone important, so just stay the course, and all good things will happen to you. I think he was just giving really good fatherly advice.
yeah, and the way it's played when you start the movie off, you think the kid is actually Black Adam. Um,
Correct.
but like I said, well, later on we find out no, it was actually the father that was the Rock, Black Adam. And then we find
Right.
out how he gets the ability to do it and everything later. But
Right.
eventually the kid he just is like he just wants to take things to his own hands. He runs off with the crystal after stealing it from the guard, and he goes all the way to the palace. But or well, he ends up getting caught. And they're
Right.
forcing him to the palace, and it's pretty much the whole thing. They're about to execute him, and then all of a sudden, you know, he just whips away, and then that's when he gains the abilities of the wizards. If you've seen Shazam, I still have to see that movie, um,
hmm
and everything. So you see the wizard that gave Billy his powers
Right.
from it. And like I said, I haven't seen Shazam, but I've seen the wizard, and I think he makes an appearance in the trailers for Shazam too. Um, so he gets the abilities, the whole thing. You have it to where we see the Rock's Black Adam just walk into the palace where the king is there, and it's this thing of having this, and the MacGuffin of this a movie is this crown, which if you wear it on this crown, you can pretty much summon like damn near the demon gates of hell, pretty
Right.
much.
Right.
And Black Adam stops that from happening, and then boom, we're cut to the present time. Um,
Right.
of what happened. Kind of the person who was narrating was the little boy. His name was I'm looking through the cast. Amon. Like I
Hmm.
said, um, I thought I was fine with the character, but at some cases I did get a little bit annoyed with his character. I understand why he was there. He was kind of just there to be the figment of Black Adam and of like I guess a way of his son in a way. Just
Right.
like how the kid Almond's mother was supposed to be, I guess, a figment of his wife, I guess you could say, like my uncle brought up in the non-spoiler session. But there's some parts where it's like this kid should be nowhere in this situation right now.
No,
But you know,
no.
it kind of dragged on, and then it was kind of the you know, like I said, the story was for me was kind of average best. It was just kind of coming of age, his introduction, but really
Correct.
it was kind of focused around like the crown and then saving this boy Amon. I'm like, okay,
Right.
yeah, you know,
It kind of got me in the whole, and we've seen the story time and time again.
mm-hmm,
You know, a stranger who is not a very nice person comes into this village where the mayor or the leader of the village runs the village with an iron fist, and this stranger is going to connect with this family to save the day. And you know, that's the part that I got out of all of that.
yeah,
You know, but you know, again, it was, you know, the the young man was really annoying. He was annoying throughout the entire movie. I mean, he really was. How he just happens to have this, you know, this gust for justice and doing the right thing and things of that nature. To me, it didn't win me over. You know, and it sounded like it didn't win you over as well too.
yeah,
Now, I did enjoy his mother. The mother was highly heroic, highly strong. It was even a point where she looked as if she was ready to take on the JSA at one particular point, and basically told them, "Hey, y'all get y'all stuff together, man, because you know what's going on here is bigger than what's going on between you all." So, you know, and speaking of the JSA, and speaking of the JSA, like I said, I did like Aldridge Hodge, although he was a little bit more of a hothead for me.
oh yeah, he was pretty heated.
Yeah, he was like really angry all the time. You know,
I guess
and
he just didn't like the values that Black Adam stands by.
I guess, I mean, but I was just wondering, why is he so angry?
Maybe he's mad
He
because
just,
when they fought, he got his butt kicked. I
right,
don't
he
know.
was angry before then. You know, angry and cocky. Oh, we'll be able to stop him. Um, so yeah,
Maybe he doesn't
I
like
do.
Amanda Waller bossing him around. I don't
I
know.
was about to say I do love Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. You
Yeah.
know, you know. Granted, I wasn't crazy about the Suicide Squad movies, but
Oh, that was
Amanda,
honestly one of my favorites DC movies of the
yeah.
past like
Well, I got to admit,
me too.
it was, you know, I don't know, man. I guess you know, you young Thundercats, you all appreciate all of that stuff that Suicide Squad gave,
Yeah.
but I didn't. It didn't blow my skirt up, you know.
Yeah.
So, but Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, yes, very good, really, really good cast.
Yeah. She was only like in the movie like
Yeah, she got a couple of cameos, but you can tell moving forward, she's going to have a real big role in what goes on with the DCU.
yeah.
So,
Which I guess some people may not like it because it's like shouldn't she just be the commander of the Suicide Squad instead of because it seems like you know she just calls in favors for some people because
well, you know, she, Amanda Waller is over Cadmus. So, I mean,
yeah,
Cadmus is, you know, that government agency like, you know, SHIELD is in the Marvel Universe. So, for me, in a sense, she's Marvel's version of Nick Fury.
yep.
So, you know, you got to be able to do something with her on a large scale. So, again, Viola Davis, great hire.
Yep. Yeah, so we cut to the present, and pretty much we have it to where Adriana with her group, which is with Ishmael and her brother, who her brother was
Right.
absolutely hilarious in the film.
Yeah.
Especially like the part when he got shot by Ishmael and he's Dr. Fate goes up, he's like, am I dying, Doc? And he's like, no, not yet. You're not gonna die unless you get around like Charlie.
No, you're not going to die yet. Pierce Brosnan was really good as Doctor Fate, man.
Yeah.
It was really good. Now, can he stand up the long haul of what the DC? I am assuming that the DCU, although we don't know, Marvel is really good at laying out the plan for their movies, to integrate this one story throughout all these movies and then hit you in the mouth with a finale. It's kind of interesting to see if the DCU is going to follow that same suit. But at the same time, if they are, I'm wondering if Pierce Brosnan at his age is going to be able to, you know, um, carry the mantle of Doctor Fate.
Yeah, and we'll bring it up, where the DCU could be headed at the end of the video. But personally,
Okay.
I don't think the DCU's headed anywhere. It has no stable foundation until we get that
No,
Flash movie and Flashpoint ends.
no. Well, and then again, I mean, there's not a lot of buzz for it as well, either,
Yeah,
or not from where I live.
yeah,
Not a lot of buzz,
yeah.
So, is that because of the DCEU altogether, or is it just because of that individual movie, or is it just because they don't seem to have a plan of where they want these movies to go? All these questions eventually may get answered with the Flash, but right now all we have are just questions.
Yeah. They're pretty much like I said. Adriana is pretty much looking for the MacGuffin of the film, which is the crown.
Yeah,
So they go to pretty much the tomb, and she reads off like the hieroglyphics about like how to summon Black Adam from his slumber and everything. Um, and pretty much they get the crown. The crown appears. They grab it, but then they're raided by the bad guys. I forgot their group name. It's just some sort of
Inner Gang. Inner Gang.
Intergang. Yeah,
Inner
Intergang.
Gang. Yeah. Yeah. Inner
Um,
Gang is that sci-fi that they're mostly Superman
yeah,
bad guys. Yeah.
yeah. They pretty much they use their like technology off
Correct.
Eternitum,
Yeah.
mostly powering their just machines and everything. But
Yeah. They
in
power their
real,
machines, power their weapons so that they can, dominate globally.
yeah, no, I'm just saying this, and whatever. I don't care if this is a nitpick. You would think instead of using just straight up machine guns, they would have if they're using Eternium. You would think at this point they would use some sort of advanced Eternium guns because we said that kind of
Something.
affected Black Adam a bit in this movie.
Something.
But no, they just used regular freaking machine guns like anything was gonna work. I'm over here looking at Marvel. I'm like, at least in some cases they use the Earthlings use at least some sort of crazy weapons like we see now. For example, She-Hulk. They did it to nullify She-Hulk or take her down in the final episode.
Right. Right.
But again, I don't want to compare Marvel and DC because I can get freaking crazy and everything. But
Yeah, we don't want you to do that. No,
yeah,
just we don't want you to get upset. So let's
yeah.
you get really passionate about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like both. I like both. Preferably, I like Marvel more right now. But
Well, everyone does, but at the same time, though, this particular movie right here seems to give you the illusion that DC knows where they want to go,
yeah, yeah,
and that's great. That's great. But like we said before, it's just you know where Marvel's going.
yeah,
We know it. They plan it out. They'll let you know at this particular time, this movie's coming out, this movie's coming out, this movie, and we're going to end everything with this movie. We don't know that with DC.
yeah. So they get attacked. They get attacked by Intergang, and then Adriana gives up the crown. Well, gives up the crown. It's
Correct.
not. It was in her backpack. She just left an empty one in the case. But then that's when she summons Black Adam. Black Adam appears, and it was just a cool introduction scene. He was just taking guys down, ripping. He ripped off somebody's arm. I was like, oh God, what the
Yeah.
heck? And then even when he gets to the outside part of the scene, when you have, I guess you could say from like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the whole slowdown thing, and he's just moving things at a very slow pace because
Yeah.
he's that fast.
Yeah.
I absolutely died when he got the grenade he put in the guy's mouth. And then when everything was back real time, the one dude is like, "What the?" And he's like, "Oh shoot!" And then he explodes and everything.
Yeah.
But that's it. His introduction scene was absolutely cool.
Yeah.
Um,
The hood, the cape with the hood.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. The fact that yeah, he was actually killing people, and um, not to say that that's a cool thing because I know you have a young viewership, but at the same time, in these superhero movies, the bad guys got to kill people, and that's exactly what he was doing. He showed no mercy whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even to one guy who hit him upside the head with some kind of metal rod, and they just they switched and then show him just being thrown probably a good 5,000 feet in the air and him screaming. "Ah!"
Yeah, he did that twice in the movie.
It did. I thought that was pretty cool. So, but Black Adam, he did his thing, and at this particular moment, that's when I'm saying, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about now. I was like, now this is Black Adam. He don't play. He ain't fooling around. This is the Black Adam that I read in the books.
Yeah. And that's kind of the whole, I guess, his point of his story thing in this entire movie is just are you deemed a hero or what are you pretty
Correct.
much?
Correct.
Um which pretty much it's his own thing. His own motive, I guess, for this movie is he's just going to do things that he feels like is just pretty much. Um
Correct.
so yeah, he a soldier just pretty much shoots him with an Eternum rocket. It takes him down, but he ends up taking him out. They take him back to Adriana's place. He wakes up. The kid finds him. We found out the kid, obviously, if your typical, whether it's, I don't care if this is the MCU or DCEU, you have your typical MacGuffin kid in this movie.
Yep.
Of course, they're the fanboy of the entire, Avengers, or in this case,
Correct.
Justice League, because you see Batman posters, Superman posters, Wonder Woman,
Correct.
pretty much every
Correct.
character from the cinematic universe we've seen up to this point.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
he's telling them like, oh, you should have a catchphrase and everything, a catch line. I guess that to an
Correct.
extent that was a little hilarious. Like he tried to
Yeah.
force him to have his catch line after he defeats people, which he did try to say it every now and then, but they would already be dead by then. So
Correct.
that's the
They
thing.
had to have some type of comic relief
Yeah,
somewhere. Now you also had the really heavy set guy with the glasses.
yeah,
He was
the brother.
yeah, the brother. He was the comic relief as well too. So you do have to have those moments in which yes, you give a chuckle to your audience. So there were spots in the movie in which yeah, that did happen. They didn't try to do it a lot, which what I appreciated. Instead of making it a comedy, you know, let's keep to the story and keep the seriousness going. So, but yeah, all in all, I mean, it was the boy was a pretty standard, average character who did just about the same thing that we've seen in hundreds of other movies. So it really didn't, like blow me away as far as, how that was written into the script.
Yeah. And also too, we get the plot twist that Ishmael's also working for Intergame because we found out we thought he was dead because the whole tomb area, it
Right.
collapsed on itself. But no, we find out now he was still alive and he actually works for Intergame, so he's finally trying to find a way to get the crown. But in the meantime, Black Adam, he's just busting through doors and everything,
Mm-hmm.
walls and everything. He goes, flies up to the statue, which we later actually later revealed to actually be his son. We thought it was him, but it was actually later
Mm-hmm.
revealed to be his son. And we cover the JSA. Pretty much, Amanda Waller tells Hawkman, "Hey, you need to go stop this guy and bring this guy into custody before he reveals
Correct.
or realizes his true potential and everything." Now, in the meantime, I'm just like, I understand everything's going in the background, but you'd think eventually at some point you would call on the Justice League to handle this situation.
That's true.
I
The
understand this is
whole
the
time,
Justice League, but I'm just like,
the whole time I'm sitting over like, wait a minute here. Hawkman ain't that doggone powerful. Why are you calling Hawkman of all people? Hawkman is not that powerful. And I mean, yeah, Dr. Fate is great. He does have a particular skill set. I loved Atom Smasher though.
yeah,
He was yeah. And Cyclone. I mean, I did like those two characters. But, you know, to me, Hawkman was OP. He was his power in the movie is really not that of the books. So yeah, I just it for me, and this is gonna sound really stupid when I say this, so forgive me. It just wasn't realistic for me. It's just like Hawkman with that much, and he holding his own too
Yeah.
with Black Adam, and I'm like, now is Black Adam holding back, or is Hawkman that damn powerful? I just didn't believe it.
Well, they did. Amanda Waller did say like he has yet to realize his true potential power, and it wasn't until like the end of the movie till he realized that. Um,
Well, I mean, Black Adam knows his true potential power. I mean,
I
he knows that. What I'm trying to say, Amanda Waller did some type of analysis of him from afar to say, "Oh, he's not using all of his power, Hawkman. You need to."
I think they played off because he was sleeping for like 5,000 years or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what they
yeah,
were trying to get at. But and even when you get to the end part of the movie with Ishmael becoming pretty much the devil, I'm like, you don't think you should call Superman or Batman or the Justice League? They did stop an alien invasion. Not well, I don't know how the timeline works, but I'm just saying, I'm like, where are these guys? It's the same thing that I kind of have an issue with the
yeah.
Marvel movies, but right now it's an exception because there's no Avengers.
Right.
But like for this, I'm like, there was parts of the movie I'm watching, I'm like, I think you should call the Justice League, and other
Yeah,
fact, and
just like for me when Black Adam and Hawkman is fighting.
yeah,
And I'm sitting over here like, oh no, man, Hawkman, you're not really holding your own. Yeah, you all need to get somebody up in there that can probably is a little bit more powerful than because for me, Aquaman is more powerful than Hawkman, especially when you get him in the water.
yeah,
So
probably, yeah.
why are you using Hawkman?
Yeah. Now what I mean by the Justice League, probably not maybe Batman or the Flash, because they're pretty much human characters, and if they get hit by Black Adam, they're done. Probably
Well,
just
I mean, Batman is he knows how to reach you on a different level, if you know what I mean. So
that is true.
yeah. So he could have been some use, but we're talking just power to power. Yeah, obviously, I get what you're saying. And the Flash is again, you know,
Yeah, he would have been able to catch up to the Flash anyways.
yeah, yeah. So and even Superman,
Oh yeah.
can't deal with magic. So it was just like of all the people you're going to send Hawkman. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of a new alliteration of the JSA, I guess you could say. They didn't bring like
Mm-hmm.
all of them there, which
Oh,
maybe that could be a movie down the road for
maybe.
the JSA movie. We'll see. Like I said, I watched Stargirl in a way that's kind of like a refurbished JSA, but it's kind of like the old guard passing down to the new guard.
Mhm.
I enjoy Stargirl. I think it's actually pretty good. Um,
Okay.
so yeah. But anyways, yeah, they get called to go pretty much say either you need just take them in peacefully, otherwise if you get your hands dirty, get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens. They show up. That's when you get the fight scene and everything. We find out it was a cool fight scene. I did like the JSA versus Black Adam. It was actually pretty dang cool because it's just massive destruction and everything.
Right. Right.
Um, Cyclone and Atom Smasher going. It's funny because I did watch another review of this movie, a spoiler one, and they were making a funny point about how Cyclone, every time she showed up in the film and she was fighting, they just slowed the camera down. And I had thought about it, I'm like, they actually do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
And I guess it's just to show how, fast she's going or,
yeah.
yeah. So I
They,
get it.
they dive.
I get it.
Her and Atom Smasher have a discussion about how she got her power, so she was experiment on and everything. They had
Right.
some good chemistry. I don't know if they're like gonna hook them up together, but they look like they had some good
They
chemistry.
should though. They should because I thought they had some really good chemistry.
Yeah. Atom Smasher, it's a new we find out that like, oh, this is the first time of him being like legit superhero because he got the costume from I believe his grandfather or his uncle or something like that.
Ray
Um
Palmer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting. he definitely came across to me like kind of like, and it's probably just the mask saying that, but he came across to me like a freaking Deadpoolish type of character, which was
That's
actually
true. He did. He
but
did.
I enjoyed it. He was actually pretty
I enjoyed Adam Smasher. I did enjoy Cyclone. I mean, I enjoyed the JSA as a whole. It was just, in some cases, like the JSA was just not strong enough.
yeah. He pretty much beats them all pretty handily.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
much
handily.
he they go back he goes back to the palace area that's kind of just in ruins and everything. Pretty much we have it where Adriana goes up to talks to him and tells him like, hey, they would like to talk to you, and he's like, well, they can as long as they're not going to start anything. um so yeah, and then this whole thing of this crown thing. Now we find out Dr. Fate real finds out that Adriana has the crown, but then she pretty much gave it to her son, which we later find out that's when Ishmael goes over there, takes or tries to take the crown, and that ends up being a whole issue. But pretty much the
Hmm.
discussion between Black Adam and the JSA is like, listen, just come in peacefully, yada yada. You're not supposed to be wait right now, and you can cause massive destruction. It's kind of this whole thing of like they're saying they're pretty much it's pretty much like Hawkman and Doctor Fate, but mostly Hawkman's like you're killing people, which we don't do that. We're heroes. We're not supposed to kill people. And he's like, I'm not no
I
hero.
do.
Uh,
I'm no hero.
yeah.
Now, let me ask you this though: when he said that, did you believe it? Did the Rock truly come across as a reluctant hero or villain or someone that's just flat out evil?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'll answer it for you.
I think
No,
no. Uh
no, he didn't.
no.
I mean, they want Black Adam to. I mean, it's very hard to use this character to toe that line of good guy, bad guy.
They
You
want
know,
him to be like they want him to be like what they're doing with the Venom movies in the Sony universe, be an anti-hero, even though he's technically just
correct,
a villain.
correct, correct. So, you know, when it's all said and done, it's going to be really interesting how they incorporate Black Adam with Shazam. It's going to be interesting how they do it. So, and then move on from. So, is the Flash the next movie, or is it? I thought Shazam was supposed to
Is
be in
he I think
December
it's either Aquaman 2 or Shazam 2.
because I thought Shazam originally was December, and then
Yeah, they pushed it back.
Aquaman. Right, they pushed it back, but originally I thought of the three, Aquaman, Flash, and Shazam, the Shazam was supposed to be first.
Yeah,
That's what I
I
thought.
think Shazam's first.
Yeah, I think Shazam is going to be first, then Aquaman, then the Flash.
Yeah. We'll be back, guys. We're getting close to our Zoom timer.
Uh
So we'll
oh.
be back real
Uh
quick.
oh. All right. All right.
All right, back for Black Adam. Yeah, things occur. Like I said, so after that whole discussion, that whole talk, in the meantime, Ishmael's the chasing down Amon. Eventually, he gets to Amon, and pretty much we have it to where Adriana is begging Black Adam, please, save my son. And you kind of get this chase scene of everything, which that was actually pretty cool. Where they're just going on the bikes and trying to split them up and everything, which they do
Right.
splitting them
Right.
up. And he's just looking through the whole thing, and pretty much it doesn't lead to them getting what they want, and but we find out that they have the crown. So pretty much Ishmael's like, you want to see the boy? Well, then give us the crown, pretty much.
Give
And it's
us the crown. That's right.
kind of
That's
this
right.
whole thing of like, oh, should we do it or should we not? Hawkman and Black Adam, they have a, I guess, condensed fight in the whatever's left of that apartment of their little of Adriana's house. Like they mess up the kid's room. Like I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay, we're just
And
doing
for
this now.
me, this is the problem that I have with Hawkman. Hawkman is just like, dude, you're trying to prove that you're more powerful than what you truly are. Just you're not going. You've already had a fight with him once, maybe twice, and you couldn't do anything to him. So I mean, it was just you know,
Yeah,
he was too much.
I thought they could have did without that little mini fight. I was just like,
Yeah, that thing was just not. It wasn't. It
why?
wasn't.
I was like, why? They're just It was just an extended part of the film, and it's just Black Adam again, further kicking literally Hawkman's ass.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I mean, and then now that's when I'm just like, oh, dude, man, Black Adam is he's just not. He's got to be holding back. He's
Yeah,
got to be because Hawkman just ain't. No, he
yeah.
just ain't. No,
It was hilarious
but
because Dr. Fate, he was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna get involved in this. I'm just gonna
yeah,
stay.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, you go do you, bro. You do you. I'll be right here. So when he kicks your ass, you just you come back and just come back and be ready for I told you so.
Yeah. So before they go on the thing, before they go back on the ship to go to where they were located at, kind of another whole big point of this movie was the fact that Dr. Fate looked into the future and he saw that Hawkman was going to die. He doesn't know well, it's not further explained how Hawkman was supposed to die. But Dr. Fate is pretty much saying, yeah, you're gonna die in this upcoming battle. I know how
Right.
you're going to die. But there's still time to change the future and everything. But Hogman, he's kind of like, well, if I die, I pretty much die. I am not afraid of death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of the whole thing. And then typically with characters that can see the future, well, what happens? They typically end up they're the ones that end up dying, which we see later in the final battle. It's actually Dr. Fate that is the I guess superhero that dies in this film.
I
But
don't think he. I don't think he died.
okay.
I don't think so. That's one of the reasons why I mentioned Pierce Brosnan moving on. I don't think they can do 10 years of him, even though the movie gives you the illusion he's dead. Now
Yeah.
they did kill him in the books, but he was reincarnated and came back. I think it was his wife who took over the mantle of Dr. Fate in the books. So we'll see. I don't think he's dead.
Yeah.
I really don't.
So they get to the base area where
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
but for these purposes, yes, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get to the base area of Intergang, and pretty much it's the thing they're behind this. They're behind like this force field of Eternitum, whatever. And pretty much he's like, give me the crown, otherwise kid dies. Hold the gun to his head and everything.
yeah.
Um, so Adriana goes in there, pretty much gives
I'm
the crown
sorry,
to
man.
him.
Because they're sitting up here like you gonna sit up here and trust the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like you give me the crown, I'll give you the boy. I'm like, you in these situations, and just about every movie I've ever seen, when someone is with that decision, oh, should I do with the bad? Should I trust the bad guy? They're like, no, man. Once he gets what he wants, he gonna kill you anyway.
Yeah.
Which eventually, it's it does happen. He gets the crown, and as always, the bad guy can't be trusted.
Yeah. We get the plot twist that Ishmael, the reason why he wanted the crown so bad is because he's like the late great descendant of
Yep. He
King
wanted to
Arthur.
put it on because he's a descendant of um this Trigon Junior is what I was calling him.
Yeah. When I thought I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
so by chance you were the great descendant of the said king that ruled over conduct
right,
millions of years ago. All
right.
right, fine, okay, I'll believe it. I mean, he's pretty much I got to take my rightful place on the throne. I'm like, dude, what the heck? I'm like, pretty much he's saying he would have been royalty if not for Black Adam taking down his great
Correct,
descendant.
correct.
So I got it's okay, yeah. If
Yeah,
you made me believe that Ishmael lived like a very like really bad shitty life, then I would maybe
hmm,
understand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he's just there. He's just there, and I'm like,
Correct,
okay,
correct. I would have thought that if he came from royalty, that there had to have been some type of status that would have been passed down from generation to generation to generation to the point whereas this young man has some type of affluence, but that wasn't the case. Based on what Black Adam did, apparently that Black Adam's actions set forth a chain of events that put Kahndaq in a, state of poverty.
Yeah, like I would have even believed if it's like, oh, his family line, his entire lineage is like persecuted or something like that.
Correct.
And in that
Correct.
way, he wants to get revenge on everybody and try to rule Kahndaq like he thought he was supposed to do.
But
That's a
people
lot more
would
believable than what they were
That's
trying to.
believable, but people would know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, people would know who he is. All of a sudden, you're just going to say, "Hey, I am the great descendant of this particular person," and nobody knew it.
Well,
You know,
typically nowadays you can find ways to change your name and everything.
that's true. That's true. That would tell me he wanted to hide his true nature or his true self or his true lineage
Yep.
from everyone while he looks for this crown.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. But that affluence should have followed him. That royalty, that not necessarily that some type of finance should have followed him. Should have followed him by the fact that he was from royalty. That's just my personal feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much the thing. He gets the crown, but he doesn't let not only Adriana or Armand go. He's pretty much egging Black Adam on. He's like, so Black Adam, did you cry when your son died and everything? Pretty much tell him, what was your thoughts when your entire family was killed by the king and everything? Did you get emotional? Did you weep for them and things like that? And you can see Black Adam's getting very like upset and pissed off and everything.
Yeah, he's getting really pissed off.
He eventually charges the whole barrier. The barrier goes down. Dr. Fate and Hawkman, they end up getting Adriana and Armand out of there in the nick of time. In the meantime, Black Adam actually just electrocutes the entire area and just pretty much kill what we think kills Ishmael, and we know he killed everybody else in there except the JSA, and then Armand and Adriana. They go back on the JSA ship. Black Adam flies off. Hawkman follows him. That's when we get the backstory to Black Adam. We find out again the boy from the intro of the movie was his son, and we find out that he was there a long time ago as the father. And we find out the whole issue is everything played out the way it played out. So originally his son got the powers of Black Adam, but then he came back home after defeating the king. Whatever refugees or assassins the king had at that time slayed his wife in front of him, and then even beat him down. His son comes back and he pretty much gives him the Black Adam abilities by saying the word Shazam. He becomes
he puts this necklace or a chain or with the lightning bolt that comes down his chest, and he puts that on him. And if I'm correct, did he ask him to say the word?
Yeah, he asked him to say the word.
Yeah, he asked him to say the word. So that's how the father was handed down the power of the wizards.
Yeah. And then we find out, his son goes back to being the little kid he was, but then immediately he just gets shot by an arrow in the heart. And I'm like, you can't make this up. That quick? Like, I can understand, okay, he got the powers, maybe a week passed, but then you have leftover assassins. It's like the assassins were just right there waiting. And of course, he just gets shot in the arrow. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. They were just right there.
Well, I gotta admit, in the trailers, they did say that it was being narrated by The Rock that they killed my family.
Oh, I know that.
Right. So we knew the kid was gonna get killed. There had to be some type of tragedy to make the hero, the anti-hero, or whatever you want to call Black Adam. There had to be some type of tragedy. Now, we knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time of when it happened. And yeah, at that particular moment, yes, that's when the son got killed. So it wasn't really shocking for me. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Pretty much that's his entire backstory. Pretty much, I guess in a way, Black Adam realizes, yeah, this power of mine, it is kind of uncontrollable if it goes out of control, if I go unstable.
Right,
So
right,
I'll peacefully hand myself in. He says the word Shazam. He turns back to
right,
Skinny Rock.
right.
And then pretty much he
And
goes
they
into
lock him up. Yeah,
yep.
they lock him up. They lock him down. They put him in this device so that they can transfer him to DC's version of Marvel's Vault
Yeah.
for superpowered individuals. They cover his mouth and put him just all submerge him in water so that he can't speak or anything like that.
He's pretty much in
And that,
cryostasis.
right, pretty much in cryostasis. I wouldn't necessarily call it cryo because I mean they didn't really freeze him; they submerged him. More like I would say aqua
Yeah.
stasis. You know, so but and now at that now I will say at this particular point I'm like, oh Jesus, the movie over? Are
Yeah.
they?
I thought I'm
Is it?
like, that's it? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was thinking. Because actually, your aunt Katina, she kind of like nudged me and like, Daryl, is this it? And I'm like, oh, I hope not. But if they show some credits at this particular moment, man, I gotta admit, that's not cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes on that now that there's no Black Adam, that Ishmael, that's when he puts the crown on and he becomes Trigon Jr.
I just when
So
I looked at it, I'm like, he's the devil now. Okay.
he wasn't a good. It wasn't a good villain. It really wasn't. It really wasn't a good villain. So you
Yeah,
know,
he pretty much gets the powers of like the demons of hell. He looks like the
yeah,
freaking he looks like the devil. Like any freaking
correct.
frick. I watch anime on the side. I read manga on the side. It looked like one of the freaking series Black Clover. They one of the main villains last week was literally called Lucifero. I'm like, what's up with all these characters being the devil, pretty much? But
The
all right,
devil. I don't get it. I would have preferred if you're gonna make The Rock like some type of anti-hero, then have another such villain. Whereas, he has another uniform with another lightning bolt that's coming down. It doesn't have to be black. It could be red since you want to do devil-like stuff. But
and they would
you
relate
know,
it too much to Shazam, though. That's probably
what? But at the same time, that's what he is.
yeah.
You know, he's supposed to be the total antithesis of Captain Marvel or Shazam. He's supposed to be the total antithesis of him. But, you know,
Yeah.
apparently, if he's going to be some type of anti hero or anti villain or whatever you want to call it, then that's where all the questions for me come in. What is the long term plans for Black Adam?
Yeah. Yeah, so he shows up, he either starts freaking taking over conduct and everything. He
Right.
awakens pretty much the dead, and I'm like, what is this? Resident Evil now? I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what's going on here? Um,
Yeah.
the JSA come
That's
in,
when I
but
say it
again,
gave me. This is when I started getting those Scorpion King,
yeah.
those the Mummy vibes. When the Mummy comes back, he brings all these demons back from the ground, and even with the Scorpion King, did the same thing. I started getting those vibes. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, this is all too familiar, and it was really predictable that once they put him in and they continued the story, you're going to be like, okay, something's going to happen. Whereas he's going to bust out that cave and he's going to say Shazam, and this is when they want the fans to just jump up and scream and holler. Unfortunately, no one in the theater that I
Well,
was
my
watching.
theater after the movie was done, people were clapping.
Well, I mean, they were happy about it,
Yeah.
yes, but it wasn't like anything on the lines of when the Falcon said, to your left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
Endgame.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even anything like that. I mean, yeah, you had some people clapping, but at the same time, I'm sitting over there like, okay, what's going to be the scenario? How Black Adam gets out of this?
Yeah. The JSA tried to fight this Ishmael's devil form, whatever. Obviously
Right.
not working. And then that's when in the movie in that part, I'm just sitting back. I'm like, Where are the Justice League? Where's the
Yeah,
Justice League?
exactly.
Seriously.
Where's Justice League?
You would think in this situation, eventually, hell, if Amanda Waller in the post credits scene, I know I'm getting into it, she was able to call in Superman. I'm like,
Yeah.
can't she call the Justice League in and just say, hey, we got
I
a
would have been
problem in
like, you
conduct
called
right now?
Superman for this moment right here?
I don't know.
For this moment right here, you call Superman just so he can talk to Black Adam. Okay. All right. All right. Well, obviously it's one of two things. Amanda didn't really.
You're on mute.
I can't be on mute. I'm not on mute.
Oh, I didn't hear what you just said right now. It was like
Oh,
muted.
I'm sorry. I said just it was just something that just for me just wasn't believable to the point whereas I'm just like, yay, Black Adam's back.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, see, when I watched the whole thing that was going on, the Undead Rising, the JSA having trouble with the freaking devil, I'm just like, call in freaking the Justice League. My God, they took out freaking Steppenwolf.
Yep.
And they very much was just 6 against 1 million of that. I'm like, okay, fine.
And then on top of this, the villain was basically the same as Steppenwolf. He is just some, Rudy Poot for another higher being that is just waiting and watching to see what he can do next. Now, it would have been really interesting if they kind of tried to connect this to the Snyderverse.
They're not going to connect anything to the Snyderverse.
Well, I'm just saying, you still had Darkseid, you still had, and we don't know just yet now. We don't know just yet because keep in mind, there's new leadership at DC. They may want to just go ahead and they may be connecting, especially since they're bringing Cable back.
I think Flashpoint's going to end all that Snyderverse stuff.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Black Adam, he comes back. It's the whole thing. Dr. Fate's holding off Ishmael as long as he can. He ends up freaking getting burned alive. Cripps dies as the other heroes get there. Black Adam does that. Him and Hawkman work together to defeat Ishmael and symbols that he rips it. He just freaking just pulls it. Now I thought it was a pretty cool kill that he had. He just rips him in half pretty much. He just rips him apart.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. He saves Conduct and everything, and pretty much the JSA, they let him on his own and say, okay, we'll leave you
alone.
Not
like they could let him do anything. They couldn't stop him to begin with.
Yeah, they just go on their own path and everything. They go away. Pretty much, and then Black Adam in this whole thing, he's wearing his comic accurate suit. The same black. The only difference, he wore black throughout the entire movie. It's just the thing is, he didn't have the cape. He had the cape and everything. The costume does look a little bit better. It's not all like, I guess grazed up in dirt and everything. But that's kind of the thing. Pretty much, he's standing right next to Armand and Adriana. Pretty much they're like, okay, you can sit on the throne. He doesn't like sitting on the throne like that. And pretty much, in a way, he's Conduct's protector. You get the ending, pretty much. Post-credit scene. I kind of wish, like, I did hear rumors about it and everything, and I heard a little bit about it. I kind of wish it's like I didn't hear about this because at least it would have made me like, oh shit, that's actually pretty good. But the thing is, Amanda Waller has a drone come in, pretty much says, listen, do not leave the area of Conduct. Otherwise, since you want to stay there, we'll let you stay in Conduct. We'll let you be free, but you only got to stay here. Otherwise, we'll call in people that will take care of you. And she makes the reference like there is somebody out of this world or pretty much off this planet, not from this planet, that can take you on. Pretty much, and Black Adam replies like, okay, I don't really care. You can bring them all on. It won't work. I'll still defeat them all. Kills the drone. And then all of a sudden, guy flies down. The cloud, or the dust is right there. And then walking to the dust, we see Henry Cavill as Superman, pretty much right then and there. So
and see this that tells me, for me. I mean, I know, This tells me that one of the other things that they're doing by pushing the Flash, pushing Shazam, pushing Aquaman back is probably to try to connect this back to the Snyderverse. That's just my personal opinion. I may be wrong. Most times with these things, I am wrong, but I just can't imagine them pushing these movies back just so they can write out Amber Heard. It just on the long scheme of things, it just seems to be, and doesn't seem to be that big of a reason to push back 3 movies. So my hope is that they do try to connect with the Snyderverse. You bring in Cable back. Affleck is rumored to be in the Flash movie. So let's see where they go with it. But I'm honestly thinking that they're going to try to connect back to the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
I don't. I think the Snyderverse is dead. I think after Flashpoint hits, Snyderverse will be effectively killed. Now,
Okay.
that doesn't mean they can't bring back some of the same actors. I'm perfectly fine if they want to bring back the same actors. Now, right now, from what I've been, I guess, hearing around, Henry Cavill came back just for this cameo. He's not really signed on as Superman to come back, but
Right.
man, and I know he and Warner Brothers, they're kind of having, some beef with how they've been treating his Superman and everything because he's always wanted that second Superman movie. Maybe,
Right.
maybe, right now the main person in head, David Zaslav, maybe they like, okay, let's make a deal. Let's have you come back to be Superman. We'll give you your movies so we can make the fans happy and everything. And, you do that. I had no problem with him being Superman, to be honest. It is what it is. If he doesn't come back, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal either. But there is a large fan base
yep.
which sees Cavill as Superman, Affleck as Batman. The other issue is obviously the Pattinson's Batman, which I'm
I
told
just
is
say that.
supposed
I
to.
just say that's in a different universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's in a different universe. So we'll see. But I
Yeah,
mean,
it was cool to see Henry Cavill and Superman.
Yeah, it
Costume,
was.
it did
I
look
didn't
a
like
little
his
bit
hair
more.
though.
It looked more comic accurate. Like he had a curl. It was the suit was more blue, red, and yellow.
Yeah,
More colorful. Then
yeah,
back in like the earlier movies, the color was kind of excuse me, trimmed out. But hey, if they find a way to get him back, and that was kind of the thing about what The Rock wanted. He wanted to fight Henry Cavill Superman. So
correct.
we could potentially be getting maybe a Justice League versus Black Adam movie, or maybe we get maybe
Maybe,
Man of Steel 2 Superman versus Black Adam. Now,
maybe.
personally, if you ask me, I'd rather go the Justice League versus Black Adam. I saw somebody throw out the thing of, okay, how would you get Black Adam to become fully bad guy and fight? Well, just say, oh, there was probably a Justice League threat villain that pretty much destroyed half of conduct or all of conduct, and
And Black Adam
Black
blames
Adam
the
takes that
Justice League
personally, and he's like,
and blames the Justice League.
yep, pretty
Yeah,
much. And
maybe.
then
Yeah,
that's when you
I was
start.
kind of hoping as a mid-credit scene that they find some kind of link towards Shazam.
Yeah.
I was just hoping that, but I know the way DC is setting this up, DC is making Shazam more of a comedic movie than anything serious. So it's really difficult to, try to connect Black Adam to Shazam. I get it. So what would be the next best thing? Yeah, Superman. So
uh,
maybe we will get a Man of Steel 2 or another Justice League. But, again, we still talk about these individual movies. Where are they going with
yeah.
these individual movies? And right now, we just don't know.
Yeah, there is no direction. I'm gonna say this for every DC movie review we talk about. Until the Flash movie's done, that's when
Yeah.
the direction's gonna happen.
Okay.
Because Barry's going to
And,
go do Flashpoint, and again, if you watch
and
CW Flash,
mhm.
it's a little bit of that. He's gonna do Flashpoint. Understand that, You know, him going back in time to save his mother messes up the entire thing with whatever that goes
Yeah,
on there. And he resets the timeline. It's gonna be a whole new DC cinematic universe.
yeah, and that makes sense. That does make sense. But at the same time, my problem is I personally would not run two movies before it.
Yeah, if it was me, I'd just get the Flash out the way with everything that's been going on,
That's
with the
correct. Get the
drama,
Flash
do it,
out the way,
reset it,
change.
and
That's right.
then
Get the Flash
Aquaman.
out the way, change the universe, and then let the other movies piggyback right behind it.
Yeah,
But they're coming, they came up with Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, all before the Flashpoint movie. And I'm just like, why? If you want to reboot the universe, just get it over with and do Flash.
maybe those movies have some sort of tie-in before Flash. I don't know.
Maybe, maybe. But right now, Black Adam does not have a tie-in.
Yeah,
So which leads me to believe Shazam won't have a tie-in, which leads me now Aquaman may have a tie-in.
yeah,
He's Justice League. He may have a tie-in. We don't
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely see. Yeah. Like I said, where DC could go, don't know. If Henry Cavill will be back full time as Superman, don't know. Would I mind it? Would I like it? Yeah, sure. I wouldn't mind if he comes back. You know, cool. If they just get a new Superman, okay, fine. You know, that's the thing. Well, we'll find out when these things happen. You know, DC's got it. They just. I'm just waiting for the Flash movie to see what are they going to do because that's the resetter. Again, I still stand from the fact, you know, after Man of Steel, they should have, instead of doing Batman v Superman, they should have just had solo films for each of the heroes that they were going to
Each of the
introduce in the
heroes. They had
Justice
a
League.
solo film for Superman, solo film for Wonder Woman. Should have done a solo film for Batman as Ben Affleck's Batman. They should have just done 3 solo films and then do an Aquaman, then do a Flash, and then let's just say, yeah, a Justice League. So, similar to what they did with the Avengers. I mean, each one of the main characters in the Avengers, they had their own solo films.
Yeah,
So, but they didn't do that. I mean, they rushed to put that first Justice League together.
they rushed because
Just
they wanted to catch up to Marvel.
they wanted to catch up tomorrow, but you don't do that. That's not the right way of doing it. You have to
Yep.
tell a story.
Yep.
So they didn't want to tell a story. They just wanted to throw out the thud and bluster with all these different superheroes in it. Now, granted, Batman versus Superman was not a great movie, but the rendition of Batman in that movie was really good.
Yeah.
For someone that's a diehard Batman fan, Ben Affleck in that movie was awesome. Granted, the movie sucked, but Ben Affleck as Batman in that movie was absolutely awesome. And it showed me that if Christopher Nolan had been given the chance, let him do another Batman movie
Yeah.
with Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting for Black Adam. Interesting thing again, trying to make a villain an anti kind of hero, but I think now is when you just turn him villain based on some event or something
Yeah,
like that. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
It's been something going on with the movie industry. The same thing applies, but it's mostly on Sony side of things, and even now Marvel's having some sort of things where they're some making some series, but it's not all. But it's like, for example, Sony Spider-Man, whatever, or Venomverse they got going on. They got some of these
right,
villains, like for example, the last known one was Mobius, or no
yeah.
Morbius. Um,
Morbius.
it's a Spider-Man villain. I haven't seen that movie yet. It's
You
a
don't want to
Spider-Man
watch it.
villain
It's
played off
horrible.
played off as an anti-hero, and then they're gonna have a Craven movie. I don't know what's the big deal of Hollywood's whole
Well,
thing.
but Sony is doing things. If you
Yeah,
look at the beginning, it's not Marvel Studios.
yeah, it's
It's
Sony.
in association. It's in association with Marvel.
Yeah,
So it's not Marvel. It's not the actual studios. So that's one thing that I tend to look at. Now, granted, Marvel they cashed in a lot of chips by selling off Fantastic Four, selling off X-Men, selling off Spider-Man, and I think right now they got X-Men and Fantastic Four back. But whatever's going on between Sony and Marvel, where as it relates to Spider-Man, I just don't understand why they're doing all these spinoffs and
yeah, because
I,
they want to have their own universe.
Yeah. So I just, it's not working, especially after Morbius. That movie was just flat out that movie ate dog.
Yeah, I would say, with Black Adam doing this whole anti-hero type of movie, I guess it works to an extent. It should only be his own solo one, and then after that, he should be a villain. Like I said, he could be a villain of maybe a second Justice League movie, or
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is maybe he's the main villain of probably not Shazam 2, but Shazam 3 potentially.
Maybe.
So
Maybe. We'll see. But they got to show that they got to put one story together.
yeah.
And let's see if all these heroes they can put movies together with all these heroes based on this one story.
Yep. Ultimately, I did enjoy my time watching Black Adam.
I did too.
It's a nice solid start to whatever they're looking to retool in the DCEU. Yeah, but again, they still got a lot of work to do.
Yep.
But again, we're gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on Black Adam, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Black Adam, not more Black Adam, more movie content. The next movie on my list to review for this year is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Technically, if you're into my anime,
I got my tickets.
I gotta still get my tickets on that.
I got my tickets. November 9th for me.
Okay, I'm probably gonna see it. Maybe November.
Well,
maybe the day it comes out.
Here is November 9th. You guys is November 11th. See, that's the great part about being in Germany. We get it a couple of days early.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might actually see it twice before you get to see it once.
I'm gonna like that movie. I think that movie's gonna be really good.
I think it's gonna be really good too, man. There is a video on Facebook and where they have a behind the scenes talk with the actors and actresses and things like that. And you can definitely tell just by looking at it how these actors and actresses, they really love Chadwick Boseman and how they really got together to try to make sure that they put together the best product that they can do. So I'm really excited for it. I can't wait.
Yep. That'll be the next movie review in terms of live actions content. I'm actually doing a movie review on the new One Piece movie coming out November 4th.
A what movie?
One Piece.
The
anime. One Piece. Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, that's your cousins. Your cousin. You and your cousins need to talk about.
If you tell them, they would know.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'll tell them. Jordan and Diamond, they follow all of that stuff.
Yeah. So look forward to that. But other than that, that's cool and everything. We'll be back with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever on the channel when that movie comes out. We'll be ready. But until then, guys, catch you guys later. Stay safe out there and have a great day. Peace.